human perspective.
Welcome to Advice on the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday. We are joined with Michelle Wolfe. How's it going, Michelle?
Survived another week. It was a rough one.
It was a rough week,
It
wasn't it?
was not the easiest. Wow. Yeah. Starting to come back out of it now, but it was really heavy, heavy,
Hmm.
heavy. Literally
Yeah.
pushing down like the pressure. Um, right, the Tuesday right after we were done the show last week is really when I started to notice it. Um, and it was like a couple days, and I felt like the energy really like moving through, going down. So it was like a couple, like at first couple days that was all up here, and the pressure so
Hmm.
heavy. Um, and then went down into the sort of more chest area where I could feel it. Feel like anxiety or too much energy. Could feel it in the solar plexus. Could feel it in the heart area, and then it moved down to my guts for a couple days, and that was terrible. Couldn't really eat anything. Some nausea off. My gut just like twisting, just clenches up. It's like it doesn't want anything in there. Can't get it out fast enough. And that was really hard. So it was a couple days of twisting stomach, and then yeah, it seems to have gone down. And then last night, because I kind of feel like it comes back up, so we'll see. But was feeling sort of like the burning or heat energy in like my knees and my thigh muscles, like starting to go up towards the hips. So feeling good today. Still being having to sleep a lot. Was really tired a lot. Couldn't last longer than a few hours without having to just shut down and just rest or meditate, sleep, just try to take it easy. But definitely a difficult week. Yeah.
For me, the nausea I experienced was like a wave. Like it came over me two different times. One of the times it came over me so strong, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get sick," And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, "Wait, maybe I think I feel a burp coming on." And then I
Yeah.
started feeling really weird, and I'm like, "What's happening?" And then I sneezed. So
That's
I don't know.
energy.
It's like all my autonomic system was just like freaking out at the same moment. And I couldn't
Yeah.
even tell what was going on. So much was happening in the same exact moment. Do you know what I
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely energy coming in. And it's just like,
mean?
what is your body's like, what the?
Right.
What do I do with this?
And I'm
What do
trying
I
to
do with
explain that
this?
to people, and they're like, wait, what?
What?
Like, I
Yeah,
felt nauseous, then it turned into a burp, and then I sneezed, like, all, like,
yeah.
within, like, a 5 second period of, like, my brain, like, what's going on with me?
And around the same time, which is funny because I messaged you then too, and you told me about it. And like right around the same time, and I told you it was so weird that mom, we were just sitting in the kitchen, chatting or whatever, and she just got the giggles for no reason. Like she's like, I don't know why I'm laughing. There's nothing going on in my head. I'm not right. She's like, I just feel like laughing, like, and then she just randomly got the hiccups. And it wasn't like she was been, we're like laughing so hard that she just like got the giggles spontaneously for no reason. And then right after that, just like boom, just started hiccuping. It's just really random, right? But I
It
definitely
sounds
felt
random,
like
but it,
that flushes, like
yeah.
where it would just flush and kick in. Like a couple times I was like standing up to do something, like getting a mug out of the cupboard, and whoosh, and it's like all of a sudden you just entered a whirlpool, like you got whoa spun, right? And kind of sway, and then yeah, and then the nausea just kind of kicks in with it. So I had that happen a few times. Yeah.
Well, I would have thought it was maybe just the head altering things happen at one time, except for after I sneezed, it was all over with. I didn't feel like I had a burp or to get sick or anything. It's like one thing led, it was just a chain reaction really quick. You know what I mean?
Of your body trying to figure out the best way to expel excess energy. I think, right?
I
Like,
don't
what do
know.
we do
That
with this? What
sounds
do we do with this? Sneeze.
right. Throw up? No, he didn't eat recently. We need
Yeah,
this.
no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to throw up. Yeah.
Burp?
Right?
No, that's not going to
Coughing's
work.
not going to do it.
Sneeze.
It's more energy than that. Yeah. Okay, we'll sneeze. Yeah, like, and I find spontaneous things like that, like spontaneous eye watering. That's another thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
or eye itching or eye watering, like very spontaneously.
Yeah.
Um, and but I feel it with the energy, like the pressure in the forehead and everything too. And then, because I almost feel like when it comes in so much, I feel like my eyes get puffy.
Well, I
And
definitely get the eye watering thing, but I've always
yeah.
had that, and it seems to come like during really touching moments in movies and stuff. Now, I've tried to tell my wife that that's what's happening. She seems to think I'm crying, but really, it's like this condition I have. I think I've been ascending with my eyes for quite a while, is what it is. She doesn't
Not
believe me,
quite the
but hopefully
same
she's
thing.
listening. See, it happens to other people. That's what I was trying to explain.
You're adorable. That's not what I mean. That's a good one though, Shane. That's a good one. But yeah, yeah, that's funny. But
But I
oh
have
no,
got the eye watering thing a few times. I've wondered if it
it's
was the
random.
fan or something, because sometimes, but yeah, it is strange, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And
normally it's
yeah.
like if you're about to sneeze, they might water. If you're getting really tired and you're yawning a lot, they might water, but not just kind of like in the middle of the day for no reason, kind of
Yeah,
start watering.
exact. That's what I mean. It's like
Yeah,
super random. It's
right.
not like it's like, just waking up or I mean, I do find it a lot like when I'm buzzing, like when I come out of sleep and I'm really noticing it, I do notice that my eyes water a lot. They really do. I don't know if it's trying to focus or adjust but I do notice that. But it also just comes in spontaneously. Well, that's why I find like there's a lot of things now, the muscle twitching in the faces, like in the faces. The no speaking English that happens.
We were talking
um,
about both of our faces. It's okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like weird twitching, and then the ear itching all of a sudden where it's just like, "Rah!"
Yeah,
The throat tingling or sudden throat soreness, or like electric, energy sort of in the jaw or vibration even in the jaw, feel
yeah.
the vibration in the jaw too. But that's what I'm really noticing is that as these things are getting more and more defined, I'm seeing how they, sift through the different layers and how it, the body reacts, or at least how my body does react to these different things, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, so it can make it easier in the sense where I can just kind of reassure myself to know what's going on and just, take it easy and not get paranoid or anything like that and just give myself a break, right? But
Hmm.
it's been a weary week, like we've talked the last few times about really feeling the bounce back very quickly, like feeling energy coming in, and maybe it had a difficult morning, but by the end of the day, feeling better. Whereas this was really more of a more knockdown drag out than it has been lately. It's felt like a
Mm.
lot better bounce back, but um, not so much like mentally, emotionally for me. For me, anyways, in particular, but I know that's not the case for everybody because we're all very different in what these things flush up, right? So sometimes it can feel like it hits you more physically, sometimes it hits you more emotionally, right? Um, Definitely a lot of downloads in thought this week, thought expansion, expanding on the idea and understanding the energy dynamics within myself, really being able to zero in, focus in on this divine masculine energy, this divine feminine energy, where they are within me and what they're focused on, and keeping them and maintaining a focus locked in together as opposed to being distracted on the external. So, someone told me, I thought a good way of putting it, and what I noticed previously is that the mind almost seems to get louder. It's like they had like somebody gave your brain a bullhorn, and it's like it's going off, and and you're feeling here. You're like, what is going on there? I really feel like it's just making this more apparent. for you to notice the difference, to be able to separate yourself from it, and to be able to say it's okay, listen to that, bring that attention back to yourself, bring it back into yourself, and focus those the heart energy and the mind energy together. What was really coming into me was understanding this marriage. And I think it ties in too with the Bible when they talk about this marriage and this union, this balance of this masculine, divine masculine and divine feminine energy, the heart and the mind coming into balance. And what I was really seeing, what I was really receiving a lot of images about this week was this dynamic like a marriage, the heart and the mind like a marriage. And that you've had the mind sort of playing out this dominant, overbearing role, sort of masculine role. I'll take care of it. I know what to do. This is how we deal with that. Not listening, right, to the heart, just going off and dealing with, how they know how to deal with it. And it's really come to me that what we need to do is bringing that part of our mind, choosing to be like an attentive husband, one who is always going to the heart, the wife first, and saying and really taking in that before just going off and acting or making a decision for the both of them. And that maybe the relationships that we've played out, or the marriages per se that we've played out, are in a lot of ways reflections of our own dynamic. So maybe where we've seen difficulties in our relationships, where things have been out of balance and out of whack, that they may very well be a direct reflection of what is out of balance within us, within the heart and the mind, and that we can see that there. So I've just been given a lot of these visuals on turning the mind to being that attentive husband who is turning to the heart to listen, to make a unified decision together, that they're locking eyes. Like I'm getting visuals of having my divine feminine, having that energy and that masculine energy, sit cross-legged, facing each other, locking eyes and understanding each other, and listening to that first. And it's really helped. So as much as this can be distracting, it's really helped me to say, oh, I need to rein that in, pull that attention back up, be that attentive husband in my mind to my heart, be that divine marriage within my heart. So as difficult as the week it's been, the rest, the quiet, everything has put me deep into my heart to be meditative, to get a lot of understanding with this dynamic within myself. And as much as the distraction of the mind can be annoying, it's also, I recognize, being there in order to clarify and in order to use it as a tool to say, I see the separation. And in seeing the separation, that then allows me to unify. Right? So that's what I've really picked up on this week and been working through, and grateful for it.
That's really amazing, because that's like I can really see the commonality between what I've been dealing with as well, and how it's like it's almost in the energy or in the air, because I was noticing so many parallels with that, because I notice a lot of people still find it difficult to separate themselves from their thoughts.
Yes.
Excuse me. So, for a lot of people, if they haven't got to that point where they haven't separated themselves from that voice, and that voice is sounding all anxious in their head, going on and on and on, then they are connecting with that anxiety. Because I've been feeling the anxiety. I've been finding it really hard to stay put. I mean, it's not so much the voices that make me feel anxious. It's just been feeling like a really anxious energy. Not really bad or good, just, I just don't want to sit still. And I've already got
shouldn't you
that.
be doing something? We shouldn't find something to do something, be something, do something, be something.
Right.
Right?
It's hard to just rest, just be, it's that type of anxiety. And I was just seeing how
Mm-hmm.
Nancy said she had a dream and she was feeling really anxious and even called
Yep.
off work tonight from the anxiety. So I think it's really going through heavy anyway. But if you haven't separated yourself from that voice and it's going in your head and you think it's you, then you're going to be feeling that way.
It really is. This is why it's becoming so clear. It's ringing like a bell in our head. And because we really need to separate that. This is really important the next few months. I really feel like in June, this really divine feminine energy came in very powerfully, really locked into the heart, landed and secured in. And then with the Lionsgate, I feel like this is when this new marriage or union really began. And it's really calling us to pay attention to these different energies. Um, Also, this part of us is used to having control. And when trying to take that control out of its hands and put it more in a unified balance, it doesn't know what to do. You know, you ever met an 80-year-old man who's really set in his ways, who deals with pain now, can't do the things that he used to do? He'll pull out like everything out of the gamut as a distraction. Um, just the different tactics and stuff that will come up. Like you'll see your brain hop around. Like if that didn't get your attention, let's try this and let's try this. To you're like, what are you even doing? So it's not to ignore it. It's not to say, oh, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. That's nonsense. It's to recognize and say, okay, okay, I hear you. Come sit with me. Come sit down. I hear you. But you can surrender all of that now. Allowing your mind to surrender to God. It's not going to know all the answers. It does not have to have control. Surrendering this control, that it needs to know everything, that it needs to take care of everything or control everything, and allow it just to be. You can
Mm-hmm.
allowing your mind to release all of that, um, and just be present. But it's a practice, and then it'll go off, and you'll notice, and you rein it back in. It's just part of the practice right now. So I think if we can look at it's not taking it personally. Um, and I really want to recommend, if anybody hasn't watched them yet, I sent you the couple links. I watched it yesterday, and I felt it so poignant for what is going on right now in this energy and understanding this, which is the Samadhi
Mm-hmm.
video. So I think Shane's going to put the links in
Mm-hmm.
the description. There's a Samadhi part one and a Samadhi part two, and really great visuals with it that are very activating,
Mm-hmm.
and really help understand the concepts, because they're concepts that the more words you put to them, the more definition you get, the actual further away from the truth of this concept you are,
All right.
because it's a wordless state of being. As soon as you're applying the words, you're applying the brain. So, but to really help clarify these different states and separate this and see these mirrors within yourself, I think it's a really good visual exercise and listening exercise to go through. That's really helpful at this time, because what I'm seeing is just finishing off the remainder of this year, just these next like 3 months. Um, is it's really important to clarify this right now, and to bring this into balance and bring this divine union into balance, this divine marriage, and start to understand it, because the next layer that wants to come in is this higher frequency and higher energy. So what happens with this, it's not that we stop using our brains, we actually start using our brains more. So do we want to put that middle-aged control freak on steroids?
Right.
Right? What's going to happen? Or do we want to build a solid foundation of a unionized marriage, of an attentive husband,
And that was
with our
really
mind?
the other parallel I was going to bring up is the fact that with a lot of the Mandela effect changes, I was shown how we needed a balancing between the male and the female in society and in just in our community, just everywhere. I mean, it was lacking everywhere. Everything was out of whack to the
Mm-hmm.
to the Mel side, the me side, so to speak.
Right.
And this keeps coming back to me, that this balancing you're talking about is actually within, right? So now we're starting to see how what we need within is actually being reflected to us from the world,
Well,
correct?
yeah. And that's what I really
So,
liked about this Samadhi video is that because it brings everything back to you. You can fight in opposition of everything around you. Fight for peace. Fight to, all of these things that seem like good causes, but the fact is you're coming from an opposition stance. You're coming from a position of separation. So you are coming from the mind.
and where
It's
attention goes, energy flows, or energy flows. You're putting
yeah.
energy into the very thing you're trying not to feed energy to.
Yeah. And by
Yeah.
really maybe coming into balance within ourselves and being the projectors that we are, it really is that simple. It's just so distracting. Everything around us is so distracting and we're always looking at like mirrors in our placement to everything around us. Am I opposed to that? Am I for it? Am I against it? Do I
And that's
agree? Do I
something that
disagree?
that's something that it's really hard for people to get beyond that because they want to change other people. They
Mm.
want to, and that's you're trying to comb the mirror. If you're trying to change other
Yes.
people, you're essentially trying to comb the mirror. You've got to look
Yes.
within. We're the only ones we can control is ourselves, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. One good phrase that came up in the video I saw last night too was uh what you're looking for is what's looking.
Yeah,
What you're looking for is what's looking.
yeah.
Let's say it comes
And that's not
full
the
circle.
voice.
Ooh, boom, back here.
And that's what I say
So
about the voices in the head. You're not the voice. You're the one observing the voice.
you're the one listening
You're the one listening.
to
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
You're listening. Yeah. And
And you
and
can choose to act on it, or you can choose to ignore it.
and now is a really amazing opportunity as this stuff comes up for us to be able to observe that.
Hmm.
Observe, separate, and then have a communication with that part of you. Don't disclude it, eliminate it, stuff it in the closet, put it in a box, tell it to be quiet. Have a conversation with it. See where it's stemming from. What is the intention? And you'll have a much better understanding yourself. And basically, that's how we get, it's just us observing all these fractured mirrors within ourselves of information, what we hear, what we see, what we decide, what we believe, what we
What just
feel.
happens to be floating by in the consciousness, the
Yeah.
group consciousness at the time?
And it's just reflections. We're just looking at all these fractured mirrors within our own mind. And so instead of just automatically thinking the reflection is you, that's the or saying no, that's not and just trying to put a blinder on it, look at it for what it is as a reflection. And then you'll eliminate a lot of these mirrors within
That's a
yourself.
big step for a lot of people.
It
To
is.
say, why is this happening to me? You're saying this is reflecting back to me because I'm doing it? you know?
Yeah, well, I
you know?
know. And I mean, and listen, the detail of those answers of why, where nobody can answer those but you. Nobody can answer those but you. So that's what's required is to go within. But you really have to lay the ego bare. You
And that
really
really
got
helps you progress through the lessons much faster.
you have to
You know?
call it to the deepest honesty that you can. Yeah, you really can't like, or else it's just going to continue telling the stories, right? All of these stories. We're just playing out one story right now, but who were you before the story began?
Yeah. Is it necessary to haul it all around? To put your energy into it?
Yeah, it all we do when we carry all these stories, right?
Yeah. They
You're
weigh
here.
on you. You don't
Yeah,
realize it, but
they weigh on your mind
they
and we
weigh
get
on you.
heavier and heavier with it. And so I think a lot of what we're going through right now with this energy, it purges and bubbles up and it bubbles up in our mind is to help us let go of those bubbles, to help us pop them, release them, see
People
them
get
for
that a
what they
lot.
are.
Let go. To let go. And people are like, how do you let go?
Surrender.
But I do know that you get a little taste of letting go and the light feeling that you get
Yeah.
with it, the liberation that you feel with it. You're like,
Freedom.
dude, I can't believe I've been hauling this around all this time. What else can I let go of? You're like anxious to find some more things to let go of because it
Yes.
feels very good, you know?
Yes.
A lot like carrying a heavy bag around and you get to finally set it down and you didn't realize how much it was weighing on you until you set it
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's with physical as well as belief systems and everything. But
Yeah. Guilt,
we just don't
unforgiveness.
realize,
Some of
yeah,
that stuff is heavy on you, you know?
all these decisions we make. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all, who are you behind all of that if you strip all of that away? And so, yeah, that noise is just gets loud sometimes so we can strip it away. So we can separate it from ourselves, see it as a mirror and yeah, and heal that. Heal it or whatever, transmute it, whatever it is you need to do with those different aspects till you'll find that your mind does get cleaner and cleaner. It gets simpler and simpler. It's easier to have conversations with it. It's easier for it to sit with you and be with you and just be in that presence,
Yeah.
in that union, right? It doesn't get distracted as easily. Hmm.
Tell me about that piece of art behind you there. That's beautiful.
You like that?
Yeah,
That
that's
was our
awesome.
view. I sent you a picture of it. It's not done yet, but trying to see. I'm looking. I'm making funny faces in the thing, trying to look. Let's see if I can get you closer without knocking things over. That's from our
Very cool.
trip at East City. That's. Yeah, you're not getting a very good picture of it.
Yeah,
That's our view from
when
the
you get finished,
Airbnb.
I can show a better
I
version
sent
of
you
it.
a pic, but it's not done yet. Anyways, still working on it. I don't know. It's oil, so I don't want to. It's still sticky.
There we go. Yeah, see the sky's
Goopy.
washed out in the one and behind you, but this looks awesome.
Yeah, this last picture I sent was that was our view I'm working on from. So was that Mount Hood? Mount Hood, not Mount Adams.
Yeah, you were actually between Mount Hood and Mount Adams when you were there, right?
Yeah, that was our view from our place. It was like right across the river from
Yeah.
us. It was outstanding. It's like imprinted on my brain. So I couldn't
So
wait to
that
get back
was
home and paint it.
Mount Hood. Let me share the screen with you.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go. Check this out. This was Rita's.
yeah. That is so awesome. I love that she got the Palladian circle in there from Misetti. And that's Mount Adams. And the little canoe with the pond
Yeah.
and the Bigfoot sign. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Beautiful work,
Really feel the
Rita.
energy of the place in that with
Hmm.
the little Palladian circle and everything. Yeah.
That's what I was telling her. I'm like, you really somehow like channeled
Captured
the
the energy of
energy.
it.
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
energy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Check that
Mm-hmm.
out. That's cool.
Oh,
Little like that.
yeah. That's
That's
awesome. She did
awesome.
a little orb on the mountain. That's great. That's perfect. Great job on the
Beautiful.
mountain. Yeah.
So
That's
thank you so much for
fantastic.
sharing that with us, Rita. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let me clear this off.
That's
And we are
great.
back. Okay, and
Yay.
behind me, my daughter got me this.
I know. That's so awesome.
Pretty cool. So I decided to just hang that back there and
Very
not do the
cool.
green screen thing today. Just we'll go with that.
Yeah, show it off. Yeah. Perfect.
Absolutely. Okay, so I had something somebody sent me that I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to show while you were here since it involved you. Or, they brought you up in it. And it's this. Let me go full screen here. Let's see. Me big. I don't need my name again. Okay. Check this out. Janice sent me this cluster.
It's amazing.
It's a quartz cluster. It sucks
Yeah.
the light won't really capture very well, will it?
I love the piece right on top, that knobby bit.
Actually, your camera looks better. Let me switch to the one I'm using for you and make it bigger. There we go. So she
That's
had
awesome.
this little diagram, but you can see she was showing how she was like showing me as the central hub here around this little spot with
Mm-hmm.
all the little people and
Mm-hmm.
just having different things. But she had mentioned you and T. Taylor,
That's
as
so
being,
awesome.
and along with many other people that sort of are
I'm a
part
crystal
part of
nub.
this part of this overall bigger crystal.
That's awesome. It was a beautiful piece too.
Yeah. She also sent a couple of other ones too here. I'll show it really fast. It's really cool.
Yeah, that one's neat.
And
Reminds me of like black selenite. Looks like.
yeah, this one is, let me pull it because, you know me, I don't know. Let's see, the black one is black tourmaline. I guess I'm saying it right. For protection, changes negative energies to positive, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And then the other one, the bluish green one, is azurite and malachite. Now, what's cool about this one is that it's the two minerals associated with milk and honey mentioned in the Bible because they help open your third eye and the pineal gland, third eye pineal gland. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So anyway, a big thank you to Janice for that.
I love all my stones and stuff. So many. I forget what they are, but
Well, I
I
never
have them
had
all
one
around,
like this.
all around my room, my
I'm
bed.
like, this is like a centerpiece for something.
That's awesome. I love that. It's amazing.
Cool.
Don't have anything that cool. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. I didn't know they even came that cool. I've never seen anything like
Yeah,
that.
I've got hooked on watching a few videos where they actually dig them up and mine them.
Yeah, I
The
asked her
crystals,
stupid
and they're
question. I'm
finding
like,
like massive chunks with all these bit like that, but like
yeah.
huge ones. And
Do they continue to grow? Are these growing like over millions of years still?
yeah, something like that.
Well, I didn't know
It's
if they
pretty cool.
still need to be. I didn't know how. I don't know how crystals.
I would
work.
love to do that. Go like to one of these mine sites or whatever, and
Yeah.
because the ground's all like loose, like red dirt. Well, there's lots of different places you can do it, but yeah, that would just be so fun. I think to go digging for crystals. I would
Oh, they
love
want to see the
that.
green. You guys want to see the green one again?
Now the green one's neat. All the bits it has running through it. I have one of those stones. It's polished though.
Guess I'll go to your screen. Here.
Yeah,
Right.
that one's neat.
It's not really focusing good. They're needing a blast. I don't. Does it work that way? Is it just from looking at it, holding it, taking a bite out of it? How does it work?
Yeah, smoke it.
I hurt my teeth on it earlier, and I don't know. I didn't feel like my third eye opened any.
I don't know. I think holding them.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
haven't-
Like,
yeah.
hold them, meditate with them, and
Yeah, I think so. I have different ones like around my bed and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not.
you got to keep them to. Do you have like a? I've been thinking about creating like I guess I was inspired sort of from that thing she got me behind me to create like sort of a little sacred space, like a little meditation space.
Yeah.
Actually, my smart meter is like just inches beyond that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Do you have the organite?
I've got the one from Terry, so it's right here by me.
Okay,
But I've been
good.
thinking about lining the wall underneath the green screen with some aluminum foil just to kind of deflect it away,
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Will that
And then-
affect your signal at all for
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
because it's the smart meter, so.
Oh, smart meter, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
my Wi-Fi, my 5G Wi-Fi is still sitting right next to me. I guess I need to get it all microwave and stick it in there or something, right?
Yeah.
Probably won't
It's
work
right by
too
your
well.
leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Can we or I don't know how much the organite helps or not. I mean, you can always do one of those experiments with the rice or whatever. Put the dish of rice beside it and
So I did have more of those pains in my head that we talked about. Those really sharp
yeah, me too.
points of
Mm-hmm.
pain.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to go with the Schumann or anything, or at least it didn't.
Spontaneous again.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't last really long, but
No, but sometimes I'll get weird like the ear pitch ringing like I had it actually happen earlier today. A couple hours
Tons of ear
before we
ringing.
started talking,
Yeah.
where it was like I got like an air bubble in one ear. It was like it went quiet in one ear and like it went off, like air pressure, but one ear, not the other ear. And then it went to like a high pitch ring, and then I got the pressure point right in here and right back behind the ear. That protrusion behind the ear there, and it just kind of zinged through. Again, like ice picky kind of feeling, but not super painful, but not necessarily comfortable either.
Mm.
But the ringing pitch went with it, and it was just like, oh, yeah. And
So
it'll
I've
even
been
find
getting
some.
lots
Mhm.
more ringing than usual, definitely. Probably yesterday was the day that I was like, wow, are we like really doing some major shifting today? Because I got tons of ear ringing,
Yeah,
made me
yeah.
wonder.
That's why I've been noticing it because I mean I've always got the ringing going on. Just sometimes it's louder than other times. But what I have been noticing lately is this spontaneous zing come in more. There it is right there. Just,
You just got it? Yep.
just-
That's how it works, isn't it? Like, yep, here we
yeah,
are.
there it is. That zing right there. Ah, I felt my teeth. Okay. Yeah. And a
So
little
Nancy's saying, let's see. Oh, Nancy's doing the rice experiment. That's awesome, Nancy. You need
oh
to
cool.
share it. You can call in and share it, or if you get some pictures or something, we can share them on the channel. Let everybody see if you want. That'd be cool. I'd love to see that. I watch like I've seen it several times. Truth Stream Media did it, I guess.
Yeah.
I trust
Yeah.
them. I know they're not gonna.
Yeah. Oh, you put the orgonite in there. I'm
Yeah, and
sure you're
actually see
fine.
how it works, huh?
What's that?
And actually test it. They've got those apps
Hmm.
that you can put on your phones too for the electromagnetic frequencies and stuff.
You know what? That would be a kind of cool experiment, though, to take the orgonite and like 1 week, like do an experiment without the orgonite there, and then do it with the orgonite there, and see how different it is. Oh, that'd be
Right.
cool to see. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
try it.
How long is the overall experiment, Nancy? You got to do it for like 6 weeks or so. It's like a long time, or is
Is
it
it?
3 weeks? It's like 3 or 6 weeks with the rice, I
Wow, I can't even think ahead to tomorrow. So
think. I wonder if anybody's done like not so much directing it right at the rice, but like, put some rice where you pay your bills, put some rice where you meditate, and then, just check it and see if there's some ambient stuff you put off. Because, you can pick up stuff off people all the time. You're like, ooh, they're like,
I've also heard lemons can do like if you want to. I watched a video once where the guy he put lemons all over his house to find out like where the energy was good and where it wasn't. And the lemons would like they just go like so much quicker, right?
oh,
You
wow.
can try that with like it might not be like the Wi-Fi thing, but uh a little bit more of a direct, like a little quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd really see like a drastic difference with certain lemons. So that might be one to try.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, she says it's a 4 week test. That's not bad. I mean, for someone else, I'd forget. I already know.
Hmm.
I can't hardly do anything by
That's
schedule.
cool. She's gonna do a video about it.
I don't know. Are you going to do a video about it? Hopefully, she'll at least. Maybe she'll put the stuff on Facebook or something. We can check it out that way. Yeah, I'd be curious to see it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like, the neglected rice. Because usually they do three for anybody that doesn't know. They'll have like one that you say, I hate you.
Oh,
One you say, I
abused
love
rice.
you. Right. and then the control
Mixed
that's supposed.
rice.
Right. But that one gets neglected. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the love sure does make the other stuff last longer. That's for sure.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
So what about did we discuss dreams yet? Was that before we went on the air?
I think it was before we went on the air.
Talk on it. We did it again. We try not to talk about stuff we're going to talk about on the air
Oh, we do.
because, but it's only now. Well, we'll talk about this. And then we'll get in a discussion about it, and then we're late, and then we don't talk about it again. But I don't think we talked
Yeah.
about dreams.
We do what we do. Um, I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
Okay.
So yeah. So what do we want to say about dreams? Well, I mean, you told me a good story. I think it was a good point to make
Yeah, that I
about.
had one. I woke up where I couldn't remember the dream, but I felt like I'd been playing with my grandson. Just that feeling of being with him and having fun and laughing, and
Hmm,
because kids will pull your spirits up. You know what I mean? They'll like you'll really feel that really youthful energy with kids. That
brings the kid
and
in you out, right?
definitely. So I
Yeah.
had that feeling. I woke up feeling like that, So I couldn't remember anything, but I just felt like I just spent time with my grandson, right? So then
Yeah.
I'm like telling my daughter later on, his mom later on, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I had a dream about you," and so I don't know, couldn't remember any of mine to tell if it was the same dream or not, but it was just strange that we were all together in each other's dreams.
But yeah, but I think the theme of fun is like that's what I've definitely been experiencing. So like I'm finding just so many adventures through the night, and I'm like, I'll wake up and I'll be remembering it when I'm waking up, and so clear, so vivid, so much color, and so much fun. Um, but it's by the time I get downstairs, they're like ghosts, right? But they'll come back up to me through the day, but definitely things are getting more vivid again. But like I did remember last night I had a dream where I was just painting this giant wall pink, wall one color, crazy for me, but I was having so much fun doing it. I was like, wee, wee. I'm really finding like from what everything what I do remember, even if I'm not remembering all the details, but it's just fun. Like I'm just definitely having fun. I'm not feeling like the mission so much, serious training. I'm still getting information. I'm still feeling like I'm having those conversations where we do sort of have experiences, go back and discuss them or whatever. But things are so much lighter and
Yeah.
so much more colorful. I'm
Well, so
definitely feel like I'm experiencing more color within my dreams. Very vivid and
mhm.
very fun. Yeah.
I've been noticing colors seem more vivid just in general when I've been traveling and doing things. I'm looking around. I'm like, wow, things are getting more colorful. I think they are a little bit like
Yeah.
I've seen greens that are way greener than I don't know. It just seemed like it was
Yeah.
enhanced. You know.
Well, well, in the skies too. I mean, look at all the colors in the skies and the rainbow clouds and the pinks and the purples and the oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think, and I know Aluna's one of her videos this week mentioned that we're going to just continue to see more and more of those like rainbow skies. It's
Hmm.
going to become more normal, right? More the new norm. So, yeah, I
Which is
mean,
weird. That's weird that it's not a bigger thing than what it is, because we didn't have like these sort of rainbow clouds like that in the middle of the sky. Some of them look really, really cool too.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And
like,
yeah, or never mind just rain. Like I saw myself, I took video and pictures of, and now I've seen like Mr. MBB's had a few of them posted where other people have caught it too. Like literally a rainbow up directly above you in the sky, and there's not even like the clouds to explain it. Like
right?
what is that? Like a rainbow arc,
Yeah,
just just sitting there up in the sky. I don't know. Like I thought rainbows went like on the ground like this.
right. And I've seen the
Not just
halos around the sun too.
yeah, yeah, but the
Yeah.
sun wasn't even like that was the weird thing. The sun was over there. It had a halo. There was a halo around the sun on its own, you know. But boom, right directly above me, there was a whole arc, this random rainbow arc. But the clouds, definitely noticed the rainbow colors in the clouds a lot more. It's pretty common. I don't know. Don't know what the average person thinks. I think unfortunately the average person is too busy looking at their device
Even today, I
to
was
be
looking at the clouds
distracted.
and I'm like, dude, these clouds are so unnatural and nobody even thinks anything. It's
Yeah.
like the roof over your head as you're outside. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you
Yeah.
not notice it? It's such a
Yeah,
big
they just don't
thing.
want to bother with that because if they have to think about that, then they have to think about other things that they don't want to think about. So they just don't want to bother because people don't want to be taken out of their comfort box. So even if they do notice, they think that's strange. It's like, whatever. Because if they continue down that road, if you continue down that process, well, then it's going to lead to this question, that question. I mean, that's the rabbit holes. You're going to choosing whether or not they're going to go down those rabbit holes, and um, and then
And
that
some
will
people don't want to be
require them
awake right now.
yeah, it'll require them to look at belief systems. And so people just won't do it. They're like, no, I know where that goes. Just don't even look at it. Whatever. That's stupid. I don't want to look at, whatever. What does it matter? They
I don't
think
know.
there's
I can
bigger
totally say,
problems or
I
bigger
can see,
issues.
I can see somebody buying a ticket to be a human. They're like, you know what? I just want a real ignorant path where I just have a real fun life and I don't really ever wake up. I don't want to know anything. Keep me away from any kind of truth. I just want to enjoy life in
And they
ignorance.
picked the wrong era.
I I know,
then I'm sorry, you picked the wrong.
but that's,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not. That's not the time. I think a lot of us, you know,
they're missing out, but that's
well,
what they
that's a
want,
choice. Whatever, that's their journey.
you know.
Who am I to know? I don't know what their journey is. Their journey could change on a dime tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Anybody's could. You don't know. Can't,
And we love to be scared when it's, all in fun and games. I mean, like, we love, like, just thinking about my grandson. He loves for me to chase him, and it's scary for him, you know what I mean? It's
but
a
the thrill of
scary
the excitement.
excitement, but he knows I'm not going to hurt him ultimately,
Yes.
So I can totally see us choosing to have the mess scared out of us down here. Some of us chose to take the scary route just to really, I want to take the scary route, you know what I mean? But there really isn't anything harmful or scary. It's just an experience of that.
But it's conquering fear. But again, that's your mind creates it, because for me as a kid, like that's been my biggest journey in this is conquering fear or understanding fear and where it stems from and what is, because for me as a kid, like I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the dark. My imagination would just take over. My mind would just take over, so there, even though, I tried to tell myself there's no monster under the bed, I could not escape the idea of a monster under the bed, and my imagination would take over, and he would develop claws and teeth, and
Then you could
and
hear him, and then you could
and
feel
what was
him,
that?
and
And it just go and
yeah,
it goes and goes. So to be in a dark room, like somebody turning the lights off, I would have a panic attack, because to me in the dark anything's possible. Like anything could get you, right? Like that was the framework. So to come from there, like at that polar end, but that's what dreams taught me. That's what nightmares taught me. It was nightmares that taught me that there's nothing to be afraid of when you surrender ultimately to God or control to God. There there's different stages of releasing this fear. And that's what dreams really help me do and understand that. And ultimately it's all up here. It's all up here. All of it, all the stories of what you should be afraid of. It's all up here. So it's been about it. That's been part of my training ground
yeah.
is fear and how to conquer it. And in so doing, that's how I can, in my own journey, bring about the balance within myself of understanding the place of the mind and its role, and then bringing it into unity, not letting it overtake me with the stories of all things that could be hiding in the dark and that can get you and look behind you and
Well,
you
see,
know
and you're bringing up a really good point, because people that haven't realized that yet don't realize how much fear actually controls the decisions they make about things. Do I want to go out
yeah,
here and do this? And maybe they were going to meet somebody,
or
they would have been
how
great friends, but I don't really want to get out in public. And I'm only using that as an example because I'm right with you guys on that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's just like,
yeah.
do I want to risk it? I can stay in my own happy little bubble, or I can go out where there's nothing but chance. And you bet, if you go out there with that kind of attitude, the universe is going to throw a lesson or two at you, right?
Yeah. Instead of just moving through experiences and just taking one experience at a time, or projecting
Hmm.
all these thoughts ahead of us and behind us of everything that could be, everything that was, and we're not with ourselves right now.
Hmm.
So,
And
yeah.
having that perspective too, or you can take the victim role, or you can see it as a classroom. And you're like, okay, I can do this. This is what the universe is throwing at me today. Let's let's tackle it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, because
Have
if
an
you
optimistic look about it, like it's an assignment you're excited to do or something. You know?
yeah, yeah, and not letting it take control. But that's where the intent, your intent has to be more powerful than the fear. So
Hmm.
you have to understand your own energy, your own intention, and where it's coming from. And that's the sword that you carry that slays the beast, right? That slays the monster in the closet
And you
is
can't have
your
that
intention.
recognition of it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Mm-hmm.
you're like, you almost laugh about it, and you're like, oh, is that what you got for me today? Is that all you got for They
That's
just
and
sort of
that's
make a
my
game out of
attitude.
it.
Bring
Yeah.
it.
This is easy.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, try not to get. But too cocky, because again, that's the brain.
No, no, right, right. No, no, I know. That's sort of the joke of it, though. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it is. But you kind of have to have that attitude for a little bit. I think you
yeah,
kind of do have to bring that aspect of yourself out in order to conquer, and then hopefully bring it back into scale again and balance out, which is kind of what we're doing now in micro and macro ways.
yeah.
So
Because the
yeah,
alternative is fear, though. It's like,
well, that's it.
what's going to happen now? What's going to happen next? But just trust that whatever it is for you. You're going to learn from it. It's going to be an experience. It's great, you know.
Yeah.
After it's all said and done, it might not be great getting through it, but it's like at our most trying times in life is when we learn our biggest lessons and grow the most.
It really is.
And it's
It,
tough, but think about how much we grow in compassion and love when you go through some of your hardest times of losing someone, or some of the things that we put at the top of that list of the most painful things,
yeah.
losing someone to death or a
Yeah.
child, or there's a lot of horrible things that can happen, but you can really take that as an opportunity to grow from it, because there's not much pain that you can experience on that deep of a level
Well,
sometimes.
that's it. And listen, we're not going to avoid pain, no matter how enlightened or whatever. Like at this point now, like pain is good, but how much we suffer
Yeah, it's the
is
suffering.
up
Yeah,
to our own mind, essentially. And that's can be a tricky thing to realize, right? Because
yeah,
we have because our mind will then want to come in and tell us all the reasons why we should be suffering.
yeah.
So it's got a reason for everything. As soon as you get rid of one list, well, it'll be right back up there to come in behind you. Well, there's this list too, right?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, when you can get through all them, and if the suffering is really up to here, up to that,
Totally.
and how much we chase our own tail. Hmm.
So lots of energies. What is that? Three. I thought that was a synchronicity. 3, 2, 1 here. So
Yes,
what do we,
14.
what do we have for the remainder of September that you're hearing about? I'm still hearing about a lot of different energies
Well,
coming
we've
in
got
from.
the 13th coming up, going into the full moon. So really, like starting tomorrow, well, September 11th tomorrow, that's going to be a lot of energy. I feel like I'm really, for really feeling like we got walloped. I'm just kind of feeling like we may get walloped again. I don't know. So, like, that's a lot of energy. That's going to be processed. You've got the Friday 13th going into full moon. Um, it's just a lot of things that are coming into alignment with another portal. So I do think it could be a doozy how we may experience it. Could be just a lot of downloads. Uh, we'll see, but I'm definitely anticipating a variety of different experiences with the next wave coming in. So yeah, and I that might last a little while. So we'll see. Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm.
But we also do have, we got the equinox coming up here
And
in.
that too, like it's a heavy month, like the 20th,
Yeah,
and then again the 19th and the 20th, which are always tend to be kind of hardcore for me.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Lots of
So
people noticing the Mandela effect around those times for some reason. That shift in polarity when the sun does its
so
pass over the equator and the energies sort of shift, and I don't
yeah.
know what it is. There's something that happens because, like, for me, it was a week before. I know a number of people that said it was right around September or right around March, April area. So both the equinoxes, which is
Yeah. Oh,
strange.
I think they are these like node points where you can boom,
Yeah,
like
it's
you can level up. Like I do
yeah,
anticipate that. Um, and I do look at them that way. I do
yeah,
approach them that way,
yeah.
with
Good.
intention.
Mm-hmm.
That is my opportunity to get in that portal,
Yeah,
set my intention, be very aware of my mind and my thoughts and my heart and where I want to be experiencing. And for me, these days, it's not these specific pictures of how I want things to be or what it is I want to experience. I'm just really trying to bring that just that harmony and a better understanding of my own personal energy and what this dynamic is that's going on to learn what it is I need. So I'm just keeping those intentions very simple. It's not all about physical manifestation for me um, now. So yeah, so setting those intentions for those points, whether it be the full moons, the new moons, and the portals. But yeah, I think it's going to be a doozy of a month. So I'm just trying to rest as much as I can. Definitely being drawn mentally. I don't feel the need to eat as much. I do feel like I want to clean up my eating more, like eating light. This
Mm-hmm.
month will be very helpful. Um, and avoiding certain heavier foods or heavier meats and stuff. So I'm really feeling like I'm feeling a distaste within myself for it. Like I just can't even do it. So I do think that's probably important right now, as well as a lot of water. As higher plasma, more plasma comes in, it is very dehydrating to us. I know, was it Mr. MBB or Suspicious Observers did a report about like 5 separate people being taken off a mountaintop that had to be rescued because they literally all ran out of water and were dehydrated all at the same time. And they were all at
Yeah, I
different
saw
points
that.
on the mountain, and I think that's an interesting point. And
Yeah,
he that was the plasma, higher plasma coming in. So that was another good example
I
of
think
that.
that
It really
was
does
suspicious
dehydrate.
observers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that dehydration thing is really important. I think when the stronger energy or stronger plasma may be around, that we really want to be drinking a lot of water, a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Hey,
Um,
shout out to John Benny. He just put his newest album out this past
yeah.
weekend.
Congratulations, John.
So click on his name and go to his channel and check that out. Free to
Mhm.
listen to, of course. Awesome. All right, so
Awesome.
I guess we will meet again before the actual equinox. So I guess we'll talk more on that next week because I'm excited. But I'm going to
Yeah.
try to get out in nature. I suggest anyone, if you can get out, just get out away from the electronics for a little bit and
I
all
think
the
it's really,
EMFs.
yeah, that keeps getting reminded. Like, I think I mentioned last week, somebody, losing their phone, or, and then it was different things, the battery, and then sure enough, this week my iPad's like totally dead. It's just dead. It's done, died. And it just kind of felt, falls in line
Stuff
with all
getting
that. Like,
zapped, huh?
just, yeah, it's like, doesn't want to, yeah. So
And I
I'm,
also, when I feel that anxiety, I feel like I want to get out in nature. So,
yeah, get away from the
you know,
devices
get away
and
from the
get outside.
devices and, yeah.
Really important, really important.
I
And I'm
really need to
definitely
ground
feeling,
more. Yeah.
yeah, I'm feeling the vibrations more. I think we are much more sensitive to all of these frequencies and energies. So if we're like on this too much right now and absorbing too much information, exterior information, electronically, I think it'll add to that anxiety and overwhelm feeling right now. So it's just good to be really aware of it, because I am definitely picking up. I've been feeling, the vibrations through the feet and the legs for a while now. But what I'm really noticing is how much it's kicking into the rest of my body. Um, so much so that I keep checking to see like what is vibrating around me,
Mm-hmm.
only to find out that it's
Right.
me.
Like, is my phone vibrating or something? Yeah.
Yeah, what am I leaning on? Like what I've
Yeah.
been getting a lot in this arm, in the chest,
Yeah.
up to the throat in this area, but I'm really noticing it through both arms, but most especially this one. And it's a very bizarre feeling, and I keep checking to see what it is, but I've
I'm
realized
glad you
it's
said that
me.
because I've been getting that too, and I never even put two and two together. I don't know
You're like,
why I
what
didn't
is
think.
that? Like,
Yeah, the buzzing, the where it feels like something like maybe a fan is leaning against the couch or your
yes,
chair, and
exactly,
yeah, and
exactly,
you're feeling a
exactly
little
like
bit, and you're
that.
like,
What
yeah,
is that? It's like a
yeah,
this mild vibration. And I'm like, and then no, no,
yeah.
and it doesn't. And it does really pick up when I'm in a meditative state or when I'm feeling the energy coming in, and it really picks
Yeah,
up. And I
that's
feel it,
weird, isn't it?
and I feel like when the energy kicks in now, like I'll feel like the chair is vibrating, my feet are vibrating. I'll feel, in the meditation, I'll feel it. I had some crazy things going on when I did meditation last night before bed, because I took a lot of information with those 2 videos that I watched, the Samadhi. And when I went to bed, the energy was just like doing crazy stuff right in between the solar plexus and the heart. Where, yeah, a year ago, if that had happened, I don't know what I would have thought.
Well,
But
I got
I'm
to
in
tell
that
you
place
this that
where just
happened.
watching it, just watching it happen and not thinking, just letting it do its thing. But it, very noticeable.
Yeah, just last night I was sitting working on the book, and it felt like maybe an earthquake had sort of shuddered the ground a little bit.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was like, "Is that an earthquake?" And then I thought I felt it like 3 different times. I'm like, I'm gonna have to check on that because I think I just felt 3 earthquakes. But
yeah.
never heard anything about it or anything. So
No.
now I'm wondering if it was like just me, feeling
I
it.
think we're getting more susceptible to sensing these vibrations, especially if you're meditating daily, or you're just tuning in and grounding and to your end.
Yeah,
I think we're tuning forks, like feeling like a tuning fork, you know.
yeah,
So that's what it feels like. So when things get pinged or tinged around us, it's like
yeah,
you,
yeah. A
you,
tuning fork. That's
like a
another great
tuning
way
fork.
of explaining that vibration.
That's exactly what it
Yeah,
feels like.
yeah.
Yeah. And like if you were to take that tuning fork and put it in the way it goes through you, that's what it feels like.
Maybe we're getting some like etheric.
I
I don't know.
think
What do you?
so because definitely picks up when I'm doing meditation. So much so that I'm really feeling it in my heart.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah. So, and just kind of just letting it happen. And I think it's just understanding the process that I'm just becoming more in tune or susceptible to experiencing the frequencies and energies, right? Because getting
Hmm.
comfortable and what I'm reminded is, the whether the BQH sessions that I've had, and I know other people have had the same message come up as well in their sessions, or when I experience it in dreams several times in dream, when these blasts of energy come in like in dream that really shift things. How
Hmm.
I always know, how I'm told to know, is that I'm vibrating, like my whole body I'm feeling the vibration. So like when I've had the dreams, several times, it's been where I'm dreaming that I wake up from the dream and I'm vibrating. And that's happened a few times.
Hmm.
So I think it shows an acceleration to what's going on, and it's certainly the message I received um, several times, that to pay attention when that starts to kick in, when you start to know that level of vibration. And when I'm doing meditation, what's occurred to me this week was, even one time I was doing the meditation where I felt like I was vibrating so much, it was close to the state of where I was in those dreams, like the level of vibration that I was experiencing in the dream. Like I'm getting there. So I think that
You think
says a
that's
lot.
you think you're on the road to Samadhi then?
Yes, I do.
And I didn't say somebody. I said
So
Samadhi.
Samadhi.
The
Yeah, I
video she
do.
was talking about. That link is in the
Yeah.
description.
And I think that my body last night had a physical reaction to show me that, like after going through that information again yesterday, and understanding it on such a deep level, and feeling the knowing, not the definitions of words of what was being said, but feeling the knowing of understanding what was being communicated in that video. I really feel like it assisted in locking that activation in, that understanding in, and in turn felt my body physically react in response to that.
I need to watch it again because I know I've seen it. It seems like I
Mm.
saw it a couple like in
The head
2017, but
tangles and stuff. I was like,
yeah,
whoa,
I'll
the
check it out
pressure on the
again.
forehead. Well, that's the thing now. My body gets so physically responsive to these things. I may not hear, you know, I may not hear somebody talking in my ear per se, telling me all the secrets of the universe, but my body is reacting to information now, was stimulated by information, uh, which is easy, which is really interesting. Yeah,
As soon
yeah.
as I saw the thumbnail for the Samadhi video, I had this excitement inside me. Can't remember anything about it, but I had that excitement. Like I know whatever it was excited me back when I saw it. So I'm
I
gonna definitely
experienced a
watch it again.
lot of energy just from watching the video. I experienced a lot of different physical activations from watching it, and it really helps clarify. So I definitely recommend it. I think it really is helpful to this process right now, to bring into balance our mind, and to bring it into union with our heart, to make it attentive to the heart, to teach it how to be attentive to the heart. And so that as these stronger energies come in, we can maintain that balance and fully utilize um, our brain's potential, where it's not controlling us, right?
All right.
Where it's a union, because this is where the abundant, as when the frequencies go up, then abundant awareness kicks in. So your
Mm-hmm.
awareness of many things, if you don't have that balance in your mind, it will take the reins and run you who knows
Because
where.
it's not harmonized.
Yeah.
It's
So it's
chaotic.
really
It's out of
important.
harmony. It's out of tune, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it's really valuable to bring that awareness into yourself of the place that your mind has in the relationship within yourself. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, my dear sister. I appreciate you coming
I
on and
love you.
being with me. I love you
Oh,
so much.
I love you so much. Anytime. Always something new to talk about.
Lots of love to you guys in the chat. And
Thanks,
once
guys.
again, thanks, Rita, for sharing your beautiful artwork, and Janice
Yeah.
for the beautiful
Great job.
crystal. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace. Love y'all.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.